Hey everybody, it's Robot here from Vespa Motorsport, scooterwest.com for all things both vintage Vespa and modern Vespa here in sunny San Diego, California. So what do we got here? Well, this is the Vespa P range scooters. I got more than just one P range, but on to more than just the P range. I want to talk about the Amerivespa scooter rally and Kevin, who's going to tackle riding a P range vintage scooter all the way from Southern California up to Wisconsin. Welcome to the 70s. That's when the P range started, right in 1977. We got a lot of them here in the workshop working on all the way up to 2016, the newest one here. But we have one that's extra special that we're going to talk about today. So here I got Kevin. He's worked for Vespa Motorsport and Scooter West for quite a long time. He just finished building this super awesome 2005 American spec PX150. Now I'm getting my P's all mixed up. There's quite a few of them over all the years from 1977 to 2018. Man, I got mixed up again. But what he's going to tackle is riding this 150cc scooter with some extra mods from San Diego to Wisconsin. His round trip total is going to be about 2,200 miles, and he's going to be going to the Amerivespa rally, the National Vespa Rally here in the United States. It's been going strong for over two decades at this point. He's going to start on his journey June 14th, and Amerivespa starts June 19th, right in the middle of the week. I'll make it to Amerivespa. I have a booth, of course, for a shop, sponsoring all the swag and good stuff that we got. But let me hand it over to Kevin, and he's going to talk about his scooter and the journey.
Cool. Hey, thanks. Thanks, Robot. So, check it out. PX150, this thing was, I pulled this out of a field up in Mecca, which is just out in the desert. It was burned. Picked it up out of that field, brought it in. Shortly thereafterwards, learned that Amerivespa was going to be in Lake Geneva. I have family in Lake Geneva. What a great opportunity to take a bike that I was probably just going to let there and sit for a while, not work on it, and get going and get a project done. This has been a study in basically persistence and also teamwork. I'm not able to do all these things by myself. But some of the mods that are done on the bike, basically stuff I was able to do, was some of the body work and get that kind of started. I had the vision of having the bike in a in a modern GTS color. This is the metallic beige that you can actually walk in and buy a GTS in the same color today. I do like the look of the T5 series fender. I like that it's one piece. It's also a little bit higher, so that bracket's been modified. Malossi shock, Malossi rotor, wavy rotor. This is also new, the LX caliper on that as well. Just a little bit larger pad, so a little bit better bite on those. I really love the Pirelli Angels that they just came out with in the last year or so. I've really enjoyed those, so I'm really going to be putting them to the test. So once you talk to me in Amerivespa, you'll have a chance to understand how much I love these tires. Anyways, I've got these spotlights. They still need to be hooked up, but I do have everything all wired up for you. As you can see, I've got the LED headlight that the Robot was nice enough to help me install, as well as some BMW mirrors. This is a modified GTS windscreen. You can never, Beyondy's out of business, so I was like, oh, we had this thing laying around. Let's see if I can turn it into a windscreen that fits on the PX here. Moving to the back here, you'll see that if anybody's done any sort of traveling in that, especially on the bikes, you know that you usually have a range inside the tank there of maybe 100 miles or so. So I wanted to add some fuel capacity there. So what I went out and got is a couple of Rotopacks, and then affixed those to a standard PX style rear rack there. The nice thing is that I was having issues with the geometry of being able to fit it. One of my coworkers, Fabio, he came in and he goes, hey, just turn them on their side. Made all the difference. So I was able to get the weight closer to the axle and tighter into the bike, so it's not any wider than the handlebars. So I'm really, really stoked on that. The choice of turn signals in that is I wanted to have a whole like modern yet vintage theme to this bike. It is the Series America. This is number 193 out of 500 that came out in 2005. So it was something that was worth putting the time and effort into. The engine modifications that have been done on it is actually, I do have a bespoke Penasco setup on this thing. Engine case all the way out to the top. He said, Jeff was saying 150 cc's. This is now 225 cc's. Still running its oil injector, still running stock carburation, and a very simple, moderately modified exhaust system on the bike. I also have the Acosa clutch with an overdrive in that from Molosi. I'm really happy about that. The thing pulls really solid, and that's what I wanted. I wanted basically a tractor. I'm not looking for a race bike. I just wanted something that can pull me up the hills or get me through a headwind if I happen to, encounter that out on the road. Primarily, I know I'm going to get rained on. I know I'm going to be in wind, so I'm going to just try to get there as best as I can. I'm really excited about it. I've been planning this trip for a full year right now, and we're coming into the last little couple weeks. I'm going to be leaving on the 14th, so if you want to catch me on Instagram, it's Instastram. That's my last name, or you can just give me a call here at the shop. I can tell you what I'm up to.
So it's a pretty nice rig that Kevin built. I'm pretty proud of him for doing this. He's been a vintage Vespa fan for longer than I've been. And he has a lot of scooters. This is one of the first scooters that he's done a full restoration mostly on his own.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of him. I know he's given credit to other people, but it's mostly him.
Thanks, man.
The most impressive thing on this whole scooter is the modification on the front rack to hold this Multil 710 oil. This oil was sponsored by Western Powersport. It's a huge motorcycle parts and accessories distributor that almost all dealerships in North America buy from. So they sponsored Kevin in the oil. So of course he modified the rack to hold a huge quantity of oil, because when you have a kitted out vintage Vespa, it's going to use a lot of oil, more than 2%. So you think for every 100 gallons of gas, you need 2 gallons of oil minimum. With a kitted bike, usually you go a little bit higher. And here's my favorite part about the whole rack. So you pull this off. If you're a vintage Vespa fan or a vintage P200 fan, you know what that is. That's the battery tray for the P range. They've been using the same battery tray since 1977, all the way up until the very last PX150, P200, PX200, the Stellas, which is an LML. This battery tray has been in production for years and years and years. And he modified them to hold the oil container. I thought it was pretty clever. So Kevin, I'm pretty curious about your inspiration for the dash. I see you got a GPS. It's the BMW Motorrad GPS Navigator 4, which I know is a Garmin if you're a GPS nerd like I am. You also got some other instrumentation. What can you tell me about them, and how are you going to use them on your trip?
So for me, obviously this is going to get me where I'm going. These two, I like to use the tachometer, and I like to use the temperature gauge just so I can monitor that. I like having the feedback from gauges in that for the motor, so I can understand how it's running, especially when it comes to the RPMs. This bike is capable of exceeding well past 7,000 RPM, but that's not going to afford any sort of like fuel economy. I'm going to want to get there, but I want to get there like with some kind of, without having to fill up at every gas station. So the whole idea behind this is to keep the RPMs down, which in turn is going to get me a little bit better gas mileage. It's going to keep the bike a little bit more, just like within its limits, so that I can get there and it's going to be a lot more reliable. I wanted to build in that reliability. Temperature gauge, I am going to be going through summertime. It is going to be an average of 90 degrees across the Midwest in the areas that I'm going. So I like to have the temperature gauge there just in case it starts to overheat. I'll be protected. I can get the bike off the road, I can slow down, I can get into some shade, I can let the bike cool off in some way. If I have to pull a cowl, I'll be able to pull the cowl and mount that on top of the bike if I have to do something like that as well. So that's the whole idea behind these things here. But this is all included in the package here. This is all hardwired into the system. So I'm pretty stoked on it. You know, so far it's been working out really, really well.
So it's one thing I want to show you, Kevin, since I'm the GPS nerd. I see a motorcycle up there. This is not a motorcycle. On the Garmin GPSs that are specific to motorcycles and scooters, change it to a scooter. I like the red one. Okay. Now you're a scooter, and you're a scooter on the road.
Yeah!
In front of Vespa Motorsport. What's your plan for bags? Are you going to wear a big backpacking bag? Or are you going to mount some type of hard bag or soft bag?
Yeah, so what's happening up here is that I'm going to have what is normally referred to as a well bag that goes down here. It's the perfect size for like a motorcycle well bag or a tank bag. Mm-hmm. So a tank bag's going here, and that's going to have like my cover and stuff that I don't have to. I have to just get in once a day. Mm-hmm. Then I'll have my luggage here, which is I'm limiting myself to a 25-liter wet dry bag. Mm-hmm. So I'm limiting myself to that. So you know, I can wear socks twice in a row. It's fine. You know, and then the rest is kind of like just creature comfort. So, AirHawk is on order. You know, like one of those a butt pad.
It's like an air.
Yeah, it's like an air pad for your behind. One of those is on order. And you know, to talk about like the teamwork, one of our coworkers rides daily. And he has a full rain suit that he's lending me for the trip. So I'm really thankful to Wayne for lending me that rain suit with his gloves and everything like that. It's really, really nice. So he's gonna be lending that because I know that I'm gonna be encountering rain. So, you know.
You know who else you're gonna encounter? Is Karen Schneider. She's done the Cannonball, which is like a race across the country. Well, not really a race, but well, it's a race. Okay, I'll get to the point. If you want to know more about it, I'm sure you can find it on Modern Vespa or Google. You can read on it if you're not familiar. She's done it several times on Modern Vespas. And ironically, she has a gold GTS that she's on the East Coast right now. She's been bouncing all over the place for weeks, but she'll be at Amerivespa. I can't imagine how many miles she's going to cover.
Oh
like
my God.
6,000 miles.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's a piece of cake on the new ones.
Yeah. I have one last piece to actually add to this bike. So Alex, the owner of the shop, he goes, oh, you should put this on your bike. It's basically an Obey sticker that he had on his desk. It fit right on top of this, the original Piaggio badge. Here she goes, the last trim piece. I'm so excited.
Oh, there it is, clicked right in.
Dude, I can't believe it's on there. I'm
it's
so
kind of like the
excited.
good luck bell that the Harley guys put on.
Exactly. Ride with Andre, man.
Congratulations on the build. I'm pretty proud of you for this whole entire project. Looks beautiful.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I really
pretty
appreciate
awesome
that.
You're getting a trip out of it.
Oh.
My robot bike's kind of boring. It just went in the garage or the living room.
It's in the living room?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
But over to Kevin. He's going to tell you a little bit more about Amerivespa.
There we go. Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. It's on the west side of Wisconsin. It's June 19th through the 23rd. There's events both morning, noon, and after and evening. And if you need any more details, you can look up Vespa Club of USA, and they can give you all the details for that in regards to the cost of the event, the locations for the actual event, and that. It's going to be a great time. I'm really, really excited. Come by and say hi at the vendor booths, and gosh, give me a fist bump while we're out on the rides, man. You're going to recognize the bike. Let's make friends.
And you can find all the details for Amerivespa and Vespa Club USA in the description of this video. But I hope you liked it. Something a little different than I normally do. I need to get back to some of those repair videos that everybody loves, but especially on the vintage bikes. I know a lot of you love them. But all right, until next time, it's the Robot here. Vespa Motorsport, scooterwest.com for all things Vespa, both vintage and modern. Follow us on Instagram, Vespa Motorsport. Follow us on Facebook as well. You can follow Kevin. It is Instagram, and I'm sure he'll post some daily photos of his trip. Anxious to see that. We'll maybe repost them on our Instagram as well. Of course, you can follow me, Robot Vespa. Nothing that exciting on my channel. It's my robot bike. All right.
Peace out.